So I do a late night video just before the sun's just got going down behind me. It's another beautiful evening in St Andrew's Park. Reflecting on the new vaccine that's about to hit the streets or hit the old people's homes on Monday, and the claim that it's 90% effective and over 90% effective, which sounds really good. So I've been looking back at the figures, how that 90% was found, and essentially it's been tested on 44,000 people. 22,000 of those had a placebo, so they didn't have the vaccine, and 22,000 of them did have the vaccine. And of those that had the vaccine, only 8 tested positive or had a PCR test positive for COVID. So 99.9% effective. Pretty good. Of those that didn't have the vaccine, 84 of them out of 22,000 got COVID or got a positive PCR test. It doesn't say whether they had any symptoms or not, whether they or just simply tested positive in the weekly tests that they were doing. So and that works out at 99.6% of those that didn't have the vaccine didn't get COVID, didn't get a positive PCR test. So the benefit of the vaccine in the trials that they've done has improved the success rate of not getting COVID in the volunteers from 99.6% success to 99.9%. So a massive 0.3% improvement. Now, because only 8 got it in one group and 84 got it in the other group, that makes it 90% effective. So it certainly does seem to work, as you'd expect from a vaccine, of preventing people from at least having symptoms. Actually, I think it's basically saying it stopped them getting PCR positives. So it does seem to have had some effect. But in the population they tested, which are over 16-year-olds, the difference between the two groups is 99.9% of the population who had the vaccine compared to 99.6% of the population who didn't have the vaccine. So on that basis, I would not say that there was strong evidence that it's a good thing to do. I think if you're very elderly, very vulnerable, there may be just even a small reduction in that risk might be worth having a vaccine for. But certainly the idea of vaccinating everybody is just, well, in my opinion, is just ludicrous. They've certainly reported side effects of it, and I was reading the insert. It basically says there's no information. What the effects on fertility is unknown. That's recommended not to take if pregnant, which is pretty standard for all advice. It's advised not to get pregnant for 2 months after having the injection, and really quite a lot of reasons, I think, not to rush to have this vaccine. But obviously, some people feel that this will allow them to get back to normal. I have to say that doesn't include Jonathan Van Tam, who basically feels that we're still going to have to be wearing masks, which have very limited value, if any, and we're still going to have to be socially distancing. And you've even got members of the government telling you that if you hug someone at Christmas, you might be killing them in January. It's outrageous, the fear that's being generated, and for a virus which has Denmark has just published their figures, and it's 0.16% infection fatality rate, 0.16, so that's between 1 and 2 per 1,000 who die of this seasonal respiratory virus. So I wouldn't be rushing to have the vaccine. I don't know about you, but that's my thoughts on it. But I think comparing the 90%, which is a completely accurate statement, they're not lying that they're getting a 90% success rate under the criteria they've used. But when you realise that the numbers that they've actually had to give the injection to have moved them from 99.6% who stay free of the virus to 99.9% stay free of the virus, you know. The human immune system is such a wonderful thing that it keeps 99.6% of us well without a vaccine. So with that, I'm going to leave you with the sunset, which is sort of really just beginning to fade behind me. The cafe is still going, which is amazing at this time of night in December. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, have a lovely evening everybody, and see you soon. Bye bye.